Run.
Well, good morning everybody and welcome to On The Run, and I am here at the lovely NUSTAR Casino in Cebu. First time I've been here for almost a year, I think, maybe 9 or 10 months, something like that. And boy, they have progressed and done a lot more work. Last time I was here, it was barely more than a construction zone, although they were open. They had a few, I stayed at the hotel, they had a few floors open and the casino was open, but it's much, much better now with a lot more F&B outlets open and a much bigger gaming floor and just a generally nicer offering. And we're here on the 23rd floor at the Executive Lounge. It's very nice indeed, and that's where we're shooting On The Run today. Look, here's some pictures of the Executive Lounge that I took earlier today. It's a very, very nice room, and if you're staying at Cebu and you're staying at NUSTAR, get yourself up here for the breakfast. Also a very, very nice breakfast, a full, big 5-star buffet style breakfast on the 4th floor. So it's been 4 weeks since the last On The Run, and that was in Macau. Time flies. I've been very busy indeed. Haven't had a chance to do On The Run till this week. I'm just squeezing it in now before heading out of here and off to the airport for the next leg of the travels for On The Run. While I was in Macau, after the last On The Run, I had dinner at Zuicho, the Japanese restaurant at Grand Lisboa Palace. I can thoroughly recommend it. Very, very nice indeed. I had dinner there with a senior executive. I haven't got his permission to say, so I better not say, but senior executive at GLP, and that was very nice indeed. I've been in the Philippines for almost 2 weeks now. The first week, last week, I was at Newport for the whole week, staying at the Sheraton. And Newport, of course, is the old Resorts World Manila. There have been a lot of changes there. It's now Newport World Resorts, or just Newport if you prefer, or NWR if you prefer. And they have a number of hotels there. People often get them confused. They think the hotels are not part of Newport, but they're all part of Newport. They have, let's see if I can remember them all. They have the Hilton Manila on the front side, and then on the back side facing the airport, they have the Sheraton Manila. Also have a very nice Akura hotel there. They have the Marriott, which has the big ballroom in it. They have Hyatt's Holiday Inn Express, quite nice actually for a Holiday Inn. And what else do they have? I can't think of any others off the top of my head. They have a few other hotels within the precinct, which I don't think are part of Newport. I think they're part of Mega World. Both Newport and Mega World being owned by Alliance Global, AGI, of which Kevin Tan is the CEO and his father Andrew Tan is the chairman. And Kevin Tan is chairman of Travellers, which owns Newport. And of course, one of the reasons I was there all last week, and I'll be back down there again a little bit in the coming week, is that IAG has announced a 2-year deal with Newport World Resorts to hold our Super September events there. It's going to be Super September this year from the 9th to the 11th of September 2024, but next year we're going to graduate into a fully fledged expo, and it will be renamed IAG Expo, and we already have the dates for that. It will be the 8th to the 10th of September 2025. So there will be, let's go through what's going to be there. So there's going to be the MAD on the Monday night. That will be at Casa Buenas. Very nice Filipino/Spanish restaurant there. That'll be on the 9th of September 2024. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 10th and the 11th of September 2024, will be the IAG Summit during the day, 2-day educational summit, same as we had last year in 2023. And that will be at the Hilton Manila Ballroom. And on the evening of the Tuesday, the 10th of September, will be the IAG Academy IR Awards. So these are the awards for the IR industry. So it's going to be a big 3 days, 9th, 10th and 11th of September 2024. Get yourself down there and save the date for 2025, 8th, 9th and 10th of September 2025 for the IAG Expo. And that will be a fully fledged expo with shell skiing booths and with raw space stands, just like a G2E or an MGS or an ICE, something like that. So fully fledged expo. And of course, we will still be having our welcome event, the opening MAD and the 2-day summit and the awards as well in 2025. So that event's just going to grow over time, and it will be held at Newport. So this week I flew down on, when did I fly down? Monday I flew down to NUSTAR, and the guys here at NUSTAR have been looking after me. Trevor Hammond, of course, in charge of gaming and all operations here, I think. Alan Teo, the COO, had a very nice dinner with him on Tuesday night. And it's just been fantastic down here to see the improvements that they have made. But while I have been down here, I took the opportunity to go and have a look at the Emerald Bay property, the Emerald IR, whatever they're calling it, Dennis Ui's PH Resorts Emerald Bay, and boy, it doesn't look too good, to be honest with you. Let's put a picture up. Look, I'm just going to show you this one still. I did take a few other pictures, but this was the best one. This is the one that showed it in its best light, so you can imagine what some of the others showed it as. And of course, this is the property that Solaire initially expressed interest in and then pulled out of, and then Akata expressed interest in and also pulled out of, both after due diligence. So obviously something going on there, but PH Resort says that they're in discussions with others, so let's see how that all plays out. And for the rest of the year, I am going to be basically on the run the whole time, pretty much living out of a suitcase till the end of the year. So I think I've got scheduled 30 flights in the second half of the year, of which I've already taken 2, and the third one will be today. This is being shot on Thursday morning. You'll probably be seeing it on Friday morning. So a hell of a lot of travel for me coming up. I'm flying up to Clark. Basically, as soon as I finish shooting this, I'm jumping in a car, going to Cebu Airport and flying up to Clark. So by the time you see it on Friday morning, I will be in Clark and checking out what's going on up there. So let's run through some of the news of the last 4 weeks. I'm going to do it a little bit differently to how I normally do it. Just going to go 1 to 10 rather than 10 to 1, and I'm just going to pick out some random stories and talk about these subjects. Sometimes some of the subjects will be one story in IAG, some of the subjects will be multiple stories in IAG. So let's start in the Philippines, because that's where I am. The collapse, of course, of Dowinn Junket, that was a big story. They said they were going to reopen on June 24. Well, that didn't happen. And a lot of executives have left. I believe people have stopped getting paid. The junket room's just closed. They haven't reopened. People are wondering where their money is. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, to people from Macau, reminiscent of Sun City and Tak Chuan. But in this case, the owners haven't been arrested, but the junket appears to have collapsed. Now, they are saying they're going to open tomorrow being July 19th, probably today for you. I'll be very, very surprised if they do, but let's see. So that was one big story in the last month. Another big story, really sort of fascinating story, interesting sort of dramatic story, is the so-called POGO mayor, Alice Guo, G-U-O. You can just go to ASGAM and search her name, asgam.com, IAG's website, and search her name. We've done a lot of stories on her. She's been quite the controversial figure here in the Philippines. And the argument is that her name is not Alice Guo at all. It's Guo Hua Ping, and she's actually Chinese, not Filipino. And with the angst going on between China and the Philippines at the moment, that's been quite a thing. And she became a mayor of a town, and the argument is that she was just there to serve the interests of a POGO. I won't go into it in any more depth, but you can Google it and you can have a look at what we've written on IAG. It's quite fascinating. Number 3, a lot of dramas around David Chua. So David Chua, an ex-Genting guy who was involved with Travellers, involved with Resorts World Manila for many years. He's now been removed from the Travellers board. He was actually originally the chairman, and then was demoted down to be a board member, not the chairman, when Kevin Tan became the chairman of Travellers. And now he's actually been completely removed from the board. And we did a story, Kevin Tan said that was done because of a conflict of interest with LET Group, because they are going to be leasing space from travellers in the new West Side property. That's what he said. There might be more to it than that, I suspect, but you know, that's a fair reason too. But now all of a sudden he's gone from Suntrust as well. Suntrust, the subsidiary under LET Group, doing that property, doing that West Side property. And so now Andrew Lowe is the chairman well, he always has been the chairman, but he's now the president of Suntrust, as well as the chairman of LET Group, which owns 51% of Suntrust. So there you go. And we're back. Yes, the battery ran out. The batteries and the cables, the bane of the business traveller and the bane of the vlogger, I guess I am to some extent. Okay, so where were we? Oh yes, David Chua. So he's been removed from the Travellers Board because of the conflict of interest with LET, but then was immediately left LET, so he doesn't have a conflict anymore actually. But look, you know, obviously something's going on. And we've seen all of those Genting guys leave Newport in the story that we reported some 6 weeks ago, nearly 7 weeks ago now, with the departure of Harkin Dagtas and Kingston Sian and Bernard Tan from Newport. David Chua is also an ex-Genting guy, so in similar ilk. So yeah, in terms of being a Genting guy, so I guess he's gone for whatever reason. Draw your own conclusions. But now he's also gone from the whole West Side LET thing as well, and Andrew Lowe, more power centralised around Andrew Lowe. Okay, all right, what else? Let's move on. Oh, Philippines, PAGCOR announced the 2024 half one revenue figure, $3.3 billion US. Wow, that's pretty impressive, up 19% year on year, heading towards a $7 billion year, because the second half is always more revenue than the first half in the Philippines. So that's very impressive. Of course, that's not all casino revenue. That's all gaming revenue, but still, casinos make a big contribution towards that, and it means that, you know, from a gaming revenue point of view, Philippines, I think, clearly number 2 in Asia now after Macau, without a shadow of a doubt, more than Singapore, more than Australia. All right, let's move on. So anyway, PAGCOR will be very happy with that. Chairman Tenko will be very happy with that. Next one, number 5, Hann came out and said, well, actually, the Hann didn't come out to say. Bloomberg reported that Hann was looking to raise $200 million US with an IPO. We already knew this. We knew that Hann is interested in listing on the Hong Kong, or at least partially listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Great property, Hann. Hann Reserve is on the way. 3 fantastic golf courses, a Nick Faldo course, a Nicholas Design course, and a KJ Choi course. Great casino, capturing all the traffic to the north of Clark. Doing a really good job up there, Dennis Andriachi and Mr. Hann. So, and that's where I'm on my way to today. By the time you watch this, I will be staying there at the Marriott at Hann. I usually stay at the Swissôtel, the 2 hotels at Hann, Swissôtel and the Marriott. And I usually stay at the Swissôtel, but I'm trying the Marriott out for size this time. What else? Oh yes, a story that we published just today, Premium Leisure Corp. Now, if people don't know what Premium Leisure Corp is, we know them quite well. We know some of the guys there. They are a subsidiary of Belcorp. Belcorp being the owners of the land that City of Dreams Manila is sitting on. And so City of Dreams Manila pays rent to Belcorp, and they have a number of complicated arrangements with Belcorp and with Premium Leisure Corp that mean that I think it's roughly half each. They basically do a rev share on the revenue of City of Dreams Manila. I think half goes to Melco Philippines and half goes to Belcorp/PLC. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's something like that. By the time you take into account all the rents and the various other formulae, what's the plural of formula? Formulae, I think. So yeah, but anyway, they're sniffing around Clark. Apparently, PLC, Premium Leisure, might be opening a property in Clark. 300 million is the number that's being kicked around. 300 million US investment. It is said that they have already applied for the license. this is sort of the world's worst kept secret. It was well known that that Lawrence Ho was up at Clark a while back. Can't remember exactly when it was. Actually, we were there. I was there in Clark with Ben and maybe a few of the other IAG people when Lawrence was there. We heard the rumours that he was around town. So yeah, we might, maybe will we be seeing a City of Dreams Clark? I mean, we've got a City of Dreams Sri Lanka now, haven't we? On the way, we've got a City of Dreams Cyprus. We've got a City of Dreams Macau. We've got a City of Dreams Manila. I mean, it's becoming quite a brand. So let's see what happens. Or will it just be a Premium Leisure Corp with no Melco involvement? We don't really know. Number 7, the Road to the Power 50. So we've been publishing, I think so far we've published 2 videos in our Road to the Power 50 series. The Power 50, of course, this time on Friday the 8th of November. Big reminder, save the date, Friday the 8th of November. The second Friday in November, not the first like it usually is. Reason being, it's in the Philippines, it's at Solaire North. Great opportunity to come and see Solaire North if you haven't seen it. And spend some time there. There'll be some great accommodation packages, specially designed for Power 50 attendees. And yeah, it's on the second Friday because Friday the 1st of November is a really big public holiday here in the Philippines. So look, please come to that, and it's going to be a great night, as it always is, the Power 50. It's the 17th year of the Power 50. And I can offer you a little hint that, of course, it will be going back to Macau next year. It alternates between Macau and the Philippines now. Back to Macau next year, and the venue is already agreed to and organised, and we'll be announcing that later this year. So you're going to have lots of notice for the Power 50 in 2025. It will be on Friday the 7th of November 2025. But the 2024 one is on Friday the 8th of November 2024 at Solaire North. Keep an eye out for the Road to the Power 50 video series that we're publishing. Number 8, big dramas at Star Entertainment in Australia. Of course, the saga continues. What can I tell you? Well, quite a few things. Cheers. Oh, in the Andrew Scott Best Coffee series, Best Coffee at NUSTAR in the Philly Cafe, Lobby Cafe, Philly, F-I-L-I, it's the name of the hotel. Only one hotel open at the moment, but the second one is very close to being opened, the NUSTAR Hotel. I got a sneak peek of that while I was here. Rooms look lovely. So, but at the moment you got the Philly Hotel, F-I-L-I, and then you'll very soon, within a few months, you'll have the NUSTAR Hotel, 2 hotel towers for the property. Anyway, how do I get onto that? What was I talking about? Oh, Star dramas. Yeah, I don't know how I got on. So I was telling you where the Best Coffee was. So Best Coffee at the moment, and it has been for at least a year, downstairs, the Philly Lobby Cafe. Now, back to Star. So, wow, what about this? All the machines were off at Star Sydney, Star Gold Coast, and the Treasury in Brisbane, all 3 of their properties. All the machines were off from Saturday night. They're back on now. You'll have to look on IAG to find out when they went back on, but they were off for, I believe, a number of days, not 100% sure. But yeah, that's pretty bad. System performance issues was the reason. Something to do with and again, don't quote me, but something to do with, you can go to IAG for the full story, something to do with putting software on the machines for some of these new Australian requirements, caused system performance issues, and all the machines were out. Gee, wouldn't you think you'd test it first? I mean, I guess they did, but it seems crazy that all the machines had to go off in all 3 properties. How much money did that lose them? I mean, they're losing money left, right and centre in all sorts of different ways. They get the prize for the most creative way of losing money. I mean, they had that thing with the ticket in, cash out redemption machine where if you put more than 1 ticket in, you got the money and you got one of your tickets spit back out at you. They lost 3.2 million Australian dollars in 6 weeks on that. I don't know. Anyway, what else at Star? David Foster, the chairman, had to leave. He's left the board. Of course, he was not the chairman when he left the board. He was back down to just being a board member. He was the chairman, you'll remember, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or something. He went down to being a board member because of the issues with the between him and the CEO. God, I've forgotten his name already. How could I do that? Robbie Cook. There you go. And their messages to each other, talking about the regulator. We covered this at length. I don't need to repeat it. So they're both gone now. So Robbie Cook was gone as the CEO. They had no CEO. David Foster was gone as the chairman, down to a board member. Well, now he's not even a board member. He's gone. And they brought in Steve McCann. So Steve McCann, they brought him in as CEO and MD, copying the Crown playbook. Steve McCann, ex-Lend-Lease, was the guy that Crown first brought in before Kiran Carruthers. And he was the one that sort of helped with selling Crown to Blackstone. But he has already come out and said there'll be no such sale for Sydney. There was no quick fix for Sydney. Well, that's good for him. He gets a nice, handsome salary for a while. But I think I'm inclined to agree with him. I mean, everybody I know, or every big company I know, has looked at Star because it is, very diminished in value and looks at first to be a cheap acquisition. But when you look at the systemic problems, it's at least a 5-year fix, to be honest. So, what else at Star? They hired Jeannie Mock as Group COO. She actually, another Crown person they brought in. So they've looked at Crown and said, well, Crown got their license back. Let's start getting all the Crown people, which kind of makes sense, actually. She was the Chief Transformation Officer at Crown. Boy, did they need some transformation, and boy, did they do some transformation and do it well. So she's probably got a pretty good track record there. So yeah, there's that. And look, one piece of good news for Star. They're opening Queen's Wharf on August 29. So, well, if it does open, I hope it does. But that's the one piece of good news. So lots and lots of stuff for Star there. They're sort of the basket case of the industry in Asia right now. And, well, good luck to them. Hopefully, with Steve McCann in there, maybe he can make some changes. They certainly couldn't get any worse. The question is whether they're going to keep their license. I mean, we're waiting on the results of the second inquiry, the second Bell inquiry. That'll be very interesting. Will they lose their license? I suspect they might. They may. Certainly they may. Anyway, enough about Star. Staying in ANZ, Australia, New Zealand region, SkyCity, the New Zealand operator, got a fine. Well, they didn't get a fine. They got a sanction for various breaches. I mean, they're all getting breaches in Australia and New Zealand at the moment in the past few years. And the sanction is they have to close for 5 days, a Monday to Friday. So that's kind of, in my view, a bit like a very public fine. It's effectively a fine, right? Because they don't get to earn the revenue for those days. And yet they still have the expenses. I think I read somewhere in our report, again, please don't quote me. If you really want the number, go check it out on IAG's website, asgam.com. But I believe the cost is estimated at 5 million New Zealand dollars. So, ouch. Not as ouch as some of the other fines have been getting around, but ouch for New Zealand. But it's public. Rather than just paying $5 million, everybody will see the casino closed for 5 days. They'll wonder why. It'll be very well known, widely known why. And finally, we make it to the 10th story from the US, this one, the World Series of Poker. God, I wish I was there. I'd love to go there, but just too busy with IAG stuff at the moment. I'm a regular at the World Series of Poker main event, but I haven't actually played since before the pandemic. Hopefully next year I get there. 10,112 entries, if I'm not mistaken, each paying $10,000 US to enter the tournament. So prize pool of over 100 million, a first prize of 10 million, 9,300 US goes into the prize pool, in case you were wondering. 700 goes to the operator. So 10,000 times 700, 10,000, 100,000, a million, 7 million. Wow, that's nice. $7 million for Caesars just for running that one tournament. Of course, you've got to pay for all the dealers and all of that out of that. But yeah, I think I read once that if you look at third prize, that's usually, well, in this case, it could be more like second prize, would be equal to what they get in fees. I guess because First prize is only 10% of the whole prize pool. So even though it's a huge prize, $10 million, it's only 10% or a little less than 10% of the whole prize pool. Anyway, interesting. So poker's definitely a big hit. And poker's back in Macau now, which is great. And best poker room is one of the categories in the IR Awards this year, which will be held, of course, on the evening of the 10th of September 2024 at the Hilton Manila Ballroom at Newport World Resorts. All right, well, that's it for me. NUSTAR's been great. Thank you very much to the guys at NUSTAR. I'll be up at Clark by the time you see this, only for a couple of days, then back down to Manila. Then I've got a lightning dash over to Vietnam, actually, and then I'll be down in Australia. So the run continues. Have a great weekend. Keep reading IAG. And I look forward to seeing you all in September at the Super September events, 9th to the 11th of September at Newport World Resorts in Manila. And of course at the Power 50 this year at Solaire North on the 8th of November 2024. And have a great weekend. See you next time. Bye for now. See ya.